See. And we're live. I don't know if anybody can hear me properly. Nobody's joined yet, but we are going to fix that in just a second. So let's just make sure that everything is on par here. Hold on. Let me just make sure that my microphone is good. Oh, shit. Okay. That should be all right. Hopefully people can hear me as soon as I can find people to join. Let's see. Hold on. Open up my page real quick. I really hope that my microphone is working all right, because that is going to suck if it's not. Should be, though. And just make sure I bring it closer to me just in case. Come on, you seriously want to lag on me now, right as I'm about to do something? And let's just see how many people come to talk. Because, boy, do I got some shit to say. Like, oh my God, bruh. Like, holy shit, do I got some shit to say. And I just want people to talk to about this shit as soon as my computer stops lagging. Okay, let me close some of these windows out. There's my controller. Let me put on some music. Oh, word. There's at least one other person in the chat now, so that's what's up. Oh, word. The homie. Hopefully my audio and everything is working all right so people can hear me and shit. Like I said, yo, as soon as more people come in here, I'm about to start going off about this shit because it's fucking ridiculous how no one is really talking about this shit. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know that the shit is working properly because I ain't got nobody else to give me feedback right now. Oh, shit. But yeah, hopefully more people in the group sit up there and come through or whatever. Hold on, let me see where some of the other homies is at. Yeah, because some of the other homies that are in the group said that they're at work right now, so they can't join the shit, which is all right. No big deal. Also, I should be good playing music right now because all of this shit is on Spotify, so that means none of it. So that means I should be all right. Oh, shit. And it's like, because like, yo, there's so many things to sit up there and talk about with this show, and the shit that they've just like, I don't want to say fucked up because it's like I don't know where they're going with certain things that they've done so far, but it's like when you look at like just how storytelling is just genuinely done, and you see how they've done it up until this point, it's like nothing adds up. Nothing makes any damn sense. None of it makes any sense. Like Adam as an entire character, as a whole, makes no damn sense. Like from beginning to end, nothing about the character is consistent or makes any sense, and they constantly have to retcon shit. Hang on, let me turn my volume down a little bit on my TV. Where's my remote? But yeah, like nothing dead ass makes sense. Nothing, absolutely. It's like from beginning to end, you don't know anything about him up until he joins the White Fang, and it's like you don't even get any of that information until the character short comes out. Like, you don't know where he trained, you don't know who trained him, you don't know where he came from, where he grew up. Like, you don't know any of this stuff. You get all of this information about Blake. You get some of this information about Ilya for some reason, as if we're supposed to care. But it's like Ilya hasn't been around long enough for us to give a damn. So it's like, why do they expect us to care? I don't understand. Word, you do what you gotta do, bro. It's cool. Wait, no. Damn, I'm trying to get more people to join the damn chat. Hell. Also, for those of you listening, if you can't hear Shizzy in the background, just know that he's the greatest rapper ever, and none of you change my mind or tell me any different. Oh, fuck. It's my day off. I'm tired. I'm bored. Like, I dead ass just wanted to make a video or do something. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Shit. And this is why I need more word. This is why I just need more people to sit up there and just subscribe to the channel and push the bell so they know when I'm live, and so we can all just get into the chat and have a conversation. You know what I mean? So I'm not just sitting here. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm waiting for more people to join into the shit so everybody can have a conversation. So it's not just me talking to myself. You know what I mean? Because I can basically do that anytime. I can literally just make a video rambling and then call it a day. You know what I mean? But I actually want to engage in a conversation with people, because the problem is like I'll make a video and then people won't comment on the shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know what people think. I don't know if people value what I got to say or not. You know what I mean? Like, a couple of people will leave a comment just to leave a comment, but it's like they won't actually, like, you know, let me know like any thoughts that they had or if they disagree with me at all. And if they do disagree, they're usually just hating for no reason, just because like they want to disagree just to disagree with me. You know what I mean? It's like, if you have a legitimate reason to disagree with me, fine, okay, we can have a conversation about it. But it's like, if you just want to disagree with me just for the sake of disagreeing with me, just for the sake of disagreeing with me because you don't have the same opinion as me, then that's kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Why do you bother commenting then? So, you know, I'm just trying to figure out how we can sit up there and build the channel a little better together, because it's like, honestly, because really, it's just you and me in the chat right now. So it's like, this is really just time for us to figure out how to do things and get things done. You know what I mean? So it's like, as long as we're here, we might as well have the conversation. As long as we got each other here, if other people join, cool. If they don't, I mean, no big deal. I don't have to upload the stream. I can just delete it or whatever, and then I can just do another one later if more people want me to. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I can just make another video if I want to, which honestly I planned on doing anyway. Really, I just want to do the live stream to sit up there and bounce ideas off of other people, see what other people had to say. Well, just gotta wait and see if people join or not. And it's like, yeah, I get it. I got banned from other groups because I'm not nice all the time. Oh fucking well. Like, that's not the type of nigga that I am. I'm sorry. Like, if I got some shit to say, if I feel a certain way about something, I'm gonna say it. Like, that's just how I do shit. I can't see myself doing the shit any other way, And it's like, I have literally nothing against LGBT representation or anything like that. It's just like, don't force the shit. Don't make the shit. It should have a point. Don't just have the shit in the show for the sake of having it in the show. That's one of the reasons why I don't give a fuck about May being transgender. Like, I don't give a shit. They didn't even reveal that in the show. Why does that fucking matter? It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. The character didn't really even do anything in the show. She made her allies invisible like 1 or 2 times, and then talked shit to the Aesops in one episode, and that was it. Literally, she didn't do shit else. So why does her being transgender fucking matter? It doesn't. It has no merit to anything at all. It's just a part of her character, and it doesn't have any relevance at all. So it's like, the fact that there are people who legitimately use that as a reason to justify liking her character just boggles my mind. It confuses the shit out of me. It's like, you can do what you want. I don't care. That's your business. I just don't get how you come to that conclusion. You know what I mean? May was tokenism. I have no idea what that means. If you could explain that to me. Because it's like, for me, it's like, if the character, like, and it's not just her, it's like, each of the Happy Huntresses were effectively fucking useless. Like, they didn't do anything. None of them did anything of actual relevance or significance. Like, let's go back and look at each of them. And mind you, this is just a tangent, getting away from the entire like main core of why I started this live stream. But honestly, we're just gonna be tackling a whole bunch of shit. This is, like I said, a ramble. So really, I'm just going off about a bunch of shit right now. But it's like, the Happy Huntresses, each and every single one of them, were effectively useless. None of them really did anything useful. So let's go over each and every single one of them, right? So Fiona, okay, she's a cute sheep girl who has a broken ass semblance that's a pocket dimension. Okay. Hang on, wait. She was there for woke points so that RT would look progressive. Okay, yeah, fair point. And it's like, why? Like, nobody can, like, if you guys want to sit up there and pander to the vocal minority, make a show that panders to them and give them that. Don't sit up there and just put that into RWBY just because people want more representation. Like representation should be, and representation should have a point. You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be there just to be there. You know what I mean? Like, it even feels that way, like with fucking Jean's sister and her girlfriend or wife or whatever. It's like, okay, like, John's sister is a lesbian. What does that have to do with anything? That's like, just still like, can she actually have a character and have a point to the story? You know what I mean? Can she like help move things along instead of basically just being a side gag character, pretty much? You know what I mean? It's the same thing with fucking Blake and Yang. It's like, there's nothing that you can tell me that does not express this relationship as forced. There's nothing that you can tell me that doesn't have the relationship come across that way, because it's like the entire reason why people really started shipping them, and I know the exact moment that it started happening, right? It was in volume 2, when Blake was going on that whole tangent about the White Fang and not being able to stop them and not being able to rest and whatnot, and Yang, had that conversation with her about her mom or whatever, and at the end of the conversation, Yang quick winks at her and walks away, and she has a flirtatious smile or whatever, and that was the moment that people were like, "Oh my God, ship, do it! They're gay. They're obviously going to be together." And I'm just like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Let's see where the relationship goes. Right now, I just want them to be teammates and to like form cool team combinations together and to get over the drama and stuff like that. Like, can we get past that first? And then, and it's like, if they were going to do the whole team in team fighting thing and drama thing, why didn't they do that with Blake and Weiss? Mind you, they did start to do that, and then they just completely dropped it for no reason. And then when you find out the reason that they did drop it, it's like, wait, what? That makes no, like when you legitimately find out the reason why they dropped the entire White Fang and the SDC plotline, like, it makes absolutely no goddamn sense. Like, basically, and this is me paraphrasing here, but Miles and Carey basically said that they didn't feel comfortable writing a discrimination plotline for the White Fang and the SDC, or mainly just the White Fang. Let's leave the SDC out of it for a second, okay? They said that they didn't feel comfortable writing that plotline for the White Fang because they were too they were too young straight white guys, or I don't think their sexual orientation had anything to do with it. They were two white guys trying to write a discrimination plotline, and I'm just like, what the actual hell does your race have to do with your ability to write this plotline? John's sister did help move the plot forward a little bit. I thought it was great that she was in a WLW in a woman relationship that didn't feel forced. It was great. Bumblebee on the end. All right, fair enough. John and her wife it wasn't forced. I'm just saying it's like, it just felt like it was there just to be there. You know what I mean? And I didn't really take that much away from it, because it's like her wife didn't really interest me all that much, and his sister as a character was just kind of meh for me. Like, she wasn't horrible or anything. She was just kind of meh for me anyway. But back to what I was saying. It's like with Blake and Weiss, it's like there was actual tension and drama there, and there was a potential to like really, really, really have some good like infighting amongst the team and have some good development and drama between the two. But it's like they basically dropped that entire plot line off and completely just cut it off, like after season 3. Like after season 3, it doesn't come up like ever again. And then it's like the entire thing with Adam. I've talked about this ad nauseum, and I've gotten absolute shit for it ad nauseum. But it's like, from beginning to end, everything involving that character makes no goddamn sense. Like, power, nothing makes sense. Semblance, nothing makes sense. Backstory, nothing makes any damn sense. Relation to Blake, nothing makes sense. It's like they constantly, like in the comics, just retcon him into a psychotic villain who only wants to kill humans because he hates them, not because he feels like that humans have done Faunus wrong for centuries, which they have. It's like, yeah, on a couple of occasions they'll show that he freed Faunus slaves from cages and stuff like that, but it's like you don't get the same feeling that you would get from, like, let's say, I don't know, like Magneto is usually the first thing that people usually bring up, but it's like, even with Magneto, like, it's very obvious that, like, even though Magneto's a World War II survivor, it's like Magneto is still an asshole. Like, Magneto still wants to rule the world and watch humanity burn. You know what I mean? He would rather see himself die than work with humans usually. So it's like, Magneto is an iffy way to bring it up, but it's like Magneto has had his noble moments. You know what I mean? Yes, they absolutely did waste Adam. They wasted the shit out of him. Miles is half Mexican too. Jeff Williams has done a great job portraying discrimination through his songs. I'd say that's iffy for me. It's like I never really gotten that feeling, but maybe that's just a personal thing for me. It's like, you know, for me, the RWBY songs that I like the most are the songs that are the hype building songs. You know, the ones that are like Rising or let me see. Crap. I'm having trouble remembering my RWBY tracks right now. It's been so long since I've just listened to them like back to back, you know what I mean? But Rising is a personal favorite track of mine. You know, Bad Luck Charm is a favorite of mine just because I relate so much to Crow. I don't think we've ever gotten Raven's theme song. Pretty sure that the song playing in her fight during Volume 5 was not her theme song. I'm pretty sure that was Cinder's theme song. Ironic that Cinder's theme was playing and she still lost. That's fucking hilarious. Ironically enough, I don't like Adam's theme like at all. Not real. I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't like it. Like it doesn't. It just sounds like it's trying too hard to be an edgelord's theme song. You know what I mean? It's like they could. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm just seeing the whole thing with Adam with a bit too much bias. But it's like I listen to the song and I'm just like, nah, it doesn't sound right. And then it's like I don't bother listening to Nevermore because that entire song is basically a middle finger to anyone who likes Adam as a character. So I literally just don't bother listening to that song at all. Anyway, let me get back on topic. Like I said, rambling. This is it's all gonna wrap back around and connect back somehow. You know, like I said, leave your comments and whatever, and I'll read off whatever you guys leave. You know, feedback is always appreciated and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Let's talk about the SDC and how they basically wasted all of that and all of its potential to basically be like a rival plot to the White Fang plot, because it's like Adam literally has their company letters burned to his face in a manner that is more than inhumane, and in a way that he can't hide it. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that they killed Adam in Volume 6 was a horrible decision, because it's like, if you were like, especially considering the fact that they wanted Jacques to lose the election, right? They didn't want Jacques to win. They wanted Robin to win, right? So why then would Blake not go, like, would Blake and Weiss and Yang like go to the press and like come forward with evidence that the SDC had branded a faunus in the face? That would have assuredly probably now mind you, Watts still would have a way to like hack the votes and everything, and still, you know, Jacques would have won. But mind you, if he would have done that, that would have raised even more panic and chaos. And then it's like faunus would have gone fucking nuts. They would have gone crazy. They would like, if the White Fang were still around, if the White Fang had a placehold in Atlas, or Mantle rather, they would have mobilized immediately, and there would have been mass riots. You know what I mean? But they don't do that. You know what and it makes no sense. You know what I mean? And it's not like the SDC doesn't have the manner or the ability to combat the White Fang, because it's like, you are literally the most powerful and lucrative company on the face of the planet. You literally have a monopoly on the single resource that powers the entire planet. And you mean to tell me that in a battle against the White Fang, you've been on the losing end? Mind you, you have one of the most powerful families in the world on your side, in your ranks. That's a thing. Nicholas Schnee had children. He it's stated or alluded to the fact that the Schnee family is like a really big family. So it's like, so wait a minute, did Nicholas Schnee have more than one kid? Were there others before him? Like how big or not big was the Schnee family before Nicholas became rich and famous? You know what I mean? Like, what was Nicholas's position as a figurehead in Atlas? Was he the general before Ironwood was? Was he obviously he was the CEO and founder of the Schnee Dust Company, but it's like, some people want to know how that stuff works, because then it would play into how the company was at the beginning and how it began as something good and then evolved into something bad. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if Nicholas Schnee was still alive, he wouldn't have any of this shit that Jacques is doing. Period. And I can guarantee you the only reason why Jacques got away with any of it was because Nicholas Schnee was sick and Jacques is a conniving scumbag. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand where they were going with this entire plot line, because then it's like, when Jacques gets taken down, it doesn't really feel like a lot, like you feel like, oh, finally, they finally got him. But then it's like, you look back at everything that he's done, and then it's like, well, like, we didn't really reveal it. Like, sorry. They revealed that he was a traitor and everything, that he allied with Watson, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, they didn't reveal that he domestically abused his wife. They didn't reveal the fact that he domestically abused his children. They didn't reveal the fact that he likely, had a whole bunch of shady, fucked up business deal. None of that. They haven't revealed any of that when they easily could have done all of that. You know what I mean? So it felt like his arrest had a little bit less weight to it, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm alone in feeling that. I don't know. What do you think about that one? I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm just trying to get feedback from everybody on this one. Let me see. I'm going to try and get more people to join the chat. Damn, not a whole lot of people are online right now, and that kind of sucks. Which makes no sense. Like, everybody should be on the internet right now, considering the fact that either nothing happens in RWBY or too much is happening at once. Yeah, pretty much. Like, either they don't have enough time to explain stuff and let stuff marinate and let stuff, have time to, build up, or they'll rush through something and then just expect us to fill in the blanks by ourselves. And then it's like, you expect us to fill in the blanks by ourselves, but then it's like, when we come to the conclusion we come to and we don't agree with it and we criticize you for it, you either want to rush our criticism off or call us haters for criticizing you. So I don't understand where you're going with that one. You know what I mean? In terms of the writers, I mean, your question, I totally understand though. Because it's accurate. It's true. It's like, even with some of the fights recently, it's like, for example, Watts versus Ironwood. Now, obviously, that fight should have happened, but I think that fight should have had a little bit more gravity and weight to it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, at the end of the day, Watts is nothing more than like, oh, I'm like this really disgruntled scientist who got his ideas stolen and was rejected by the kingdom, and so I faked my death and joined with the bad guys, and now I'm going to get revenge. Like, we've seen that in basically every Spider-Man villain that exists, and half of the Batman villains that exist. You know what I mean? And then it's like, all Watts had to fight with was a gun, and then he didn't reveal his semblance. Ironwood felt incredibly nerfed. Hell, the Atlas military as a whole felt kind of nerfed, because it's like, all right, you guys had that incident in Vale, and you don't want to use a whole bunch of mechs anymore, but it's like, you had a couple of months to perfect the mech technology, and you said yourselves you ran the Atlas drones on an upgraded system so that they couldn't be hacked. So why do you not have Atlesian paladins patrolling, to help destroy these larger scale Grimm? You know what I mean? So that your men and that your army isn't overrun, as you say, at the end of the volume. You know what I mean? It's like they don't either. It's like they either don't take time to think about these things, or they just expect us to think about these things, and that they just expect us to have these things show up later. But like, there's a certain way to build hype and to do pacing, and it's like, I mean, the angles and stuff were cool and all, but it's like Ironwood is supposed to be the most powerful person in Atlas next to a maiden. You know what I mean? And it's like his guns didn't really feel like they had a whole lot of punch or impact. You know what I mean? Hell, even his actual hits against Watts didn't really feel like they did much, because it's like Watts is this really lanky and scrawny dude. You know what I mean? Now, like, if they would have went with the thing where like Watts's clothes and his suit was some kind of battle suit, and like Watts was like the Iron Man of Atlas or something like that, and like, you know, he had extra protection and stuff like that, so that way Ironwood, when he was pounding into him with his metal fists and metal arms and shooting at him and stuff like that, then that would explain, oh, okay, that's how Watts isn't like immediately dead. But they don't do that. They just do the bare minimum and just make Watts super smart. And it's like, all right, counting your shots by verbally saying the shots during the fight is impressive, but it's like John Wick can count his shots without even having to count, without even actually say the amount of shots he has. He's just like, oh, I'm plugging off all of my enemies, and I'm just constantly checking to see how many bullets I have, and I'm just taking people out one at a time. You know what I mean? And then if I run out of ammo, okay, I'll just use something else as a weapon. You know what I mean? So it's like, what? You have the gun, okay. First of all, the gun was kind of lame, because it's like, all right, it's a gun with dust rounds. Does it transform or anything? I mean, you're supposed to be the smartest man in Atlas next to Pietro, and yet your weapon kind of sucks. Just keeping it real. And really, this really isn't even really just a problem with Watts. It's like, really kind of all the upgrades, barring a few in Atlas, kind of sucked. You know what I mean? It's like, for example, right? Crow got a costume change, and he used his scythe in a different way, which I don't think is an upgrade, really. I think that was just him functionally using his scythe in a different way that we haven't seen before. That's just my opinion. Weiss, she didn't get any upgrades at all. RWBY, her upgrade seemed kind of superficial. It kind of seemed like her scythe should have always been able to do that, but that's just my opinion. Yang's metal arm, like I said, there are a lot of things that her metal arm should have been able to do from jump that they just gave it now. Yeah, weapons aren't flashy anymore. They're not. They're genuinely not. Blake is the greatest example of this. Blake's upgrade was literally just her weapon getting fixed with a piece of gold, which was fucking stupid. Like, you went to the trouble of killing Adam. First of all, you don't keep the guy's weapon, which was incredibly useful. And then it's like, the only way you fix Blake's weapon is just to patch it up. Like, and then it's like, the only one who even really got a remotely cool upgrade was Jean, because it's like, you can see the potential where his weapon could be really, really cool, because then it's like, okay, he has the hard light dust shield extension thing for his shield now. So then if he does the great broadsword thing and he ignites the hard light dust on the shield while it's in its broadsword form, he'll have extra reach, and he'll have great cutting power, so that's something. And then he has the gravity dust in the crest or whatever, so that's something. But I wonder how that reloads. I wonder how that works. But you know, whatever. I guess we're just not going to question that. Nora still doesn't have a gravity hammer, which is unfortunate. Ren, all his shit can do is extend with wires. Okay, it's not like the guns themselves got any more powerful. It's not like the knives on the guns themselves do anything in particular. It's not like they shock or do anything like that. Or it's not like the weapons enhance his fighting style at all. Shit. Damn. What else? Winter felt really nerfed, like hella nerfed. But I am kind of glad that she did not get the maiden powers, considering the fact that Ironwood kind of went at the end of the volume. So her getting the maiden powers kind of would have spelled doom for the entire kingdom. But we're not going to talk about that, though, at least not yet. Because can't nobody tell me nothing. Ironwood is fucked up. And he gonna die. Like, that man is that dead man walking. Dead man walking. Like, Ironwood is a dead man walking. Pardon me while I take a drink. Yeah, is the reference that they were making. I'm just saying, it was fucking stupid. Like, yeah, like with the Japanese gold thing. Yeah, I knew that's the reference we're making. I'm just saying it was dumb. Like there's been I've seen fan art where they've done a better job of interlacing the gold into Blake's weapon. If you wanted to do the whole Bumblebee symbolism thing, you know what I mean? And honestly, red and black would have made for better symbolism, because it's like she's known Adam longer, and she literally killed him with that weapon. So it's like having the red in there would have just made more sense. But I guess they didn't want to offend people. Because, you know, this fandom is full of a bunch of butthurt snowflakes oftentimes. Perfect example, Clover and Crow. I'm sorry, I'm very unapologetic about this, but that was going nowhere. I'm sorry. That was never going to go anywhere past bromance. I don't know why anyone ever got the indication that that was going to go anywhere past bromance. It literally makes no goddamn sense to me, other than the fact that we want Crow to be gay because we want a male ex-male ship. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's like, I just kept predicting, it's like, they're probably going to kill this guy. They're either going to kill this guy, or this guy is going to be a fucking traitor. Turns out they fucking killed the guy. I thought it was because Blake was supposed to be a ninja. Yeah, I thought so too. That's one of the reasons why I initially liked Blake, because she gave off the vibe of being a goddamn ninja. But they even tossed that out for her character. She doesn't even look like a ninja anymore. Like, they're trying really hard to make her look like Black Widow now. And it's like, why? The bisexual bowl cut is not working for you, girl. It does not make you look any better. You looked better with longer hair. Sorry. It's the same thing with John. John looks stupid with the buzz cutted mohawk hair. Why bring up the fact that he wanted a warrior's wolf tail cut if you're not gonna fucking give him that? You know what I mean? And don't even give me the bullshit excuse, oh, we didn't have enough hair for that. Look at fucking Weiss. There's no way in hell you can tell me that Weiss had enough hair to make that long ass, big ass, puffy ass ponytail she has without extensions. Unless Weiss just is okay with extensions, which I would not put past her. But come on now, like, what the fuck? Like, if you honestly wanted to do hair cutting symbolism, you could have done this shit with Yang. We haven't had Yang freak out about anybody touching her hair in years. Last time she freaked out about someone touching her hair was when the bandit dude voiced by Bakugo touched her hair, and that's it. Like, we have less moments like that as much as we have moments with Yang hanging out with anybody other than fucking Blake. Which is a major problem, by the way, which of course they make fun of in the show, which is just like, what? Okay, of course. Because you guys just want to be woke and want to be funny. Yeah, I guess, whatever. And it's like, I get it. I get why they do that. It's like, you want to voice criticism you want to address criticism without sounding or being spiteful, but you guys suck at it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, Blake had so much potential to be more, dog. Like, back to what I was saying though, it's like Blake and Weiss, they had so much potential. Like that, like honestly, if they were gonna do a lesbian ship for like the main core team, I personally ship Weiss and RWBY just because like ever since the beginning when I saw those two interacting, I was just like, I could see this evolving into a thing. Like starting out as like them not liking each other and then them becoming friends and then them becoming best friends and then them becoming a couple. I could see that. Like with RWBY and Weiss, I could see that in the beginning. Honestly, now that they've introduced Oscar, I'm just like, okay, I see what they're doing here. It's gonna be Rose Garden by the end somehow, some way. Let's not even kid ourselves. But I can dream anyway. But if they really wanted to do the lesbian ship thing, they should have done Blake and Weiss. That had more potential. That had more weight, and that just had more story potential. You know what I mean? It just had that. It had really. There's no other way to say it, but it just had more potential. It had everything that it needed to be great. Blake and Yang literally have nothing at all. Nothing. They literally have nothing. The entire ship is literally just built on the fact that Yang freaked out, got her arm cut off by Adam because she was trying to protect Blake because she just so happened to be there. That's it. Like, if Weiss, like, it literally would have made more sense if in Volume 3, RWBY would have, Yang would have been going to go search for RWBY, and then she would have found RWBY, trying to get to the top of the tower or whatever, and she managed to somehow, launch RWBY to the top of the tower somehow using her semblance. And then Weiss went to go find Blake, and then Blake, sees Adam. She tries to attack Adam to save Blake, but she underestimates Adam, gets her arm lopped off, and then it goes from there. Trauma ensues. Weiss gets picked up by her family, and then Jacques is horrified that his heiress got hurt. And immediately pulls Weiss out of school or whatever, brings her back home or whatever. Gives her pays for all of her medical care, gives her the best medical attention. Does all this, tries to give off the air that he's a caring father. Blah blah blah. Honestly, people try to say that Weiss having a metal arm wouldn't make any sense. It would, if you really think about it. It would. Consider when you really break it down. Weiss getting a metal arm made out of Atlas material from General Ironwood, who is a friend of her family. Her family who owns a monopoly on dust that the arm would be powered on. Makes more sense than Yang just getting the arm because she did okay in the tournament or fought with valor or whatever the fuck they said. You know what I mean? Yang literally got the arm and was like, "Oh, all right, that's cool. I might not wear it because depression." And then the depression basically goes the fuck away. Not even gonna get into her shitty PTSD because that shit made no sense. It was so terribly written. I'm sorry, I'm straining my voice right now. I need to get a throat lozenge or something like that. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. If you guys had any questions for me or things you wanted me to talk about, just I guess drop it in the comments. I guess. Like I said, free discussion here. You're free to talk about anything you want. Just don't be an asshole. Or if you are going to be an asshole, don't be that kind of asshole. You know what I mean? Don't be a douche. Because I'm an asshole. I admit that. You know what I mean? I will be the first person to admit that I can most definitely be an asshole and a jackass. But I try my very best not to be a douchebag because nobody likes those. Or Karens. No one likes Karens either. Trust me, I deal with my fair share of Karens at my job. Fuck Karens. To all you Karens out there, fuck you. Unless your name is Karen and you are a very nice person, I take that back. You are okay. I'm sure Weiss would actually thank Ironwood, unlike Yang, and I read that Miles and Carrie skipped a lot of the PTSD arc because it was boring. Is there any way to confirm that? Is there anywhere like that I can read that like as an official statement? Because I would very much like to compile that into my log of reasons why Miles and Carrie suck at writing this show. Like, oh, this plotline is boring. Let's stop writing it. Oh, we feel uncomfortable writing this plot. Let's just gloss over it as if it doesn't exist. Mind you, like, I would really like to just sit down and have a genuine, like, heart talk with Miles and Carrie, just about like their writing process and how they decided, like, to just go about writing these plot points and what their thought process was when they were going through this and who they consulted and how, because like you can't tell me that it was always in the cards or a part of Monty's vision to do this way, because it was not like the way that the White Fang was set up and the way that the SDC and their conflict was set up, like, you would think that this was going to be an overarching thing that was going to last a while, but it just doesn't. I read it years ago, maybe on Tumblr. I forgot where. Sorry. All right, it's no problem. Things get lost in translation and transition all the time, so I perfectly understand that. But honestly, you having said that, I would not. That's the kind of statement that I would not put past them to make, considering the fact that they legitimately said that they dropped the discrimination plotline because they were white. Like, that shouldn't have any bearing on how you write this fucking plot. Like, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the two writers of that show were fucking white, and they were able to write discrimination perfectly. Like, discrimination was one of the main fucking plot points of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, class warfare and warfare in general, and discrimination between earthbenders, firebenders, waterbenders, and airbenders, and all that kind of shit was a crucial plot point. They did that just fine. They're white. My Hero Academia is another example. Like, Horikoshi's Japanese, and he writes a discrimination plot point basically between quirkless people and powerless people and superpowered people just fine. So what does your race or your ethnic standing have to do with anything? Like, that is literally just a bullshit ass-pull excuse to be like, yeah, we were biased against this character and we just didn't want to write it anymore, so fuck it, we just tossed it out and just did the bare minimum to shut people up. We exposed his face and we gave a gloss baseline reason for why he does what he does. You don't need to know any more than that. He's dead now. Get over it. And then they want to wonder why we criticize them and get so upset. Like, when you like disregard people like that, regardless of whether or not it's like online or whatever, people are gonna feel insulted. Like, no one likes to feel disregarded. That's just how life is. You know what I mean? And then it's like the fact that Adam never, ever tried to attack Weiss or the SDC or Jacques or Winter at all makes no sense. They'd use any excuse before the truth that they're underqualified for their positions. I mean, I can't see. No lies detected. If they were such great writers, they wouldn't have had to hire other writers, or other writers wouldn't have left. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you guys were that good at your job, you wouldn't have needed the help. You know what I mean? And then it's like, people wouldn't constantly say that that fan fiction is better than the actual canon, when it's like, I can give so many examples of fan fictions that I have written, and that other fans and friends of mine have written, that are better than the actual canon of this show. And it's like, how can I, a literal nobody living in a fucking room in the YMCA in Newark, New Jersey, write this story that a legend like Monty was able to come up with and just animate because he wanted to? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't add up. That none of that adds up at all. Like, you guys should be able to do better than this, but you're not. You're doing literally the bare minimum to scrape the show by and just appeal to normies. You know what I mean? And I hate to say that like that, but it's true. And it's like, let me clarify something, okay? I do not hate Miles and Carrie as people, because they're human beings. They're not perfect. They're going to fuck up and make mistakes. I do not like them as writers, though. They do not know how to fundamentally, for one, they don't know how to power scale. They don't know how to hype build properly. And they do a really bad job at world building. And their ability to do character progression often ends up turning into character regression, oftentimes. And it's incredibly frustrating. Okay? Like, with RWBY as the main character, her character development is so few and far between that it is incredibly hard to defend her as a main character, because it's like there's so many things that she does where it's like, okay, you're doing the bare minimum to be a protagonist right now, but you're not doing anything to really be a layered character. You know what I mean? And it's not just like that with RWBY. It's like that with a lot of characters in this show, where it's like, you're doing all right, but you can be doing a lot better. You know what I mean? And it's like, a lot of people want to consider RWBY like up there with other really good shonen anime. You know what I mean? We want to consider it up there with the likes of Naruto or One Piece or My Hero Academia or Black Clover or any of those. But it's like, really, we can't, because it's like, there's so much holding the story back, and it just sucks. Not the show itself, just the things that hold the story back. You know, you get what I mean? Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I often get the both of them confused. So it's like, whichever is the one who makes the big decisions the most is the one, like, in terms of the writing, is the one that I have the most problem with, because it's like, whoever is the one who like goes over this stuff and thinks that, yeah, this is well written and this is well thought out. No, you need to have someone come in and give you a second, third, and maybe fourth opinion, because you have done a horrible job. Volumes 4 and 5 are great examples of that. Yeah, because Avatar: The Last Airbender was a goddamn masterpiece in every sense of the word. Yeah, sure. In the last episode, or the last few episodes, there were things for Last Airbender that I would have done different. Like the thing with the lion turtle and everything, I would have found ways to foreshadow that a little bit in the beginning, like maybe a season ahead of time. Like, introduce that lion turtles exist and that they've been these like very big spiritual creatures for a long time that have lost bending techniques and stuff like that. I would have introduced that way before the final episode, and then it's like, there may have been a couple of visual choices and things that I would have done different with the final episode, but otherwise, The Last Airbender will be a masterpiece for the remainder of time, because it told its story, and it told its story well. RWBY as a whole, its legacy is mainly going to be, well, its lead animator that created the show was incredibly talented, and he died far too soon before his time. And after he passed away, his legacy and his brainchild, his baby, was left up to people that he trusted the most. And at the end of the day, they dropped the ball. It's okay to say that Monty was a genius animator, but he was not a good writer. And the people that he left his show in the hands of are not the best writers. That's a fair criticism to say. I'm sorry if that offends people, but that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I've seen things like, it's the same, like, for me, and you guys might laugh at me for this. I honestly don't fucking care. But like, it's like the same thing with My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic and Equestria Girls. You know what I mean? It's like, there is a lot of good that can be found in that show, but after a certain point, you can tell that the writing really, really takes a dip, and they stop trying to take risks because they don't want to offend Karens and helicopter moms who sit up there and freak out about literally fucking everything. Because, like, for example, for Equestria Girls, right, my favorite character and my waifu from that show, and my number one waifu period, is Sunset Shimmer. And there's a fan fiction called Long Road to Friendship. If you haven't checked it out, go look it up and read it. It is fucking amazing. Like, I've read that story multiple times, and every single time I read it, there are multiple scenes in that fan fiction that legitimately make me tear up and cry. Because it's like, this person that is writing this story is writing it from the perspective of someone who wants to tell a good story, but also wants to stick to the canon material that the story was based in. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you read the story, if you get a chance and you read the story, you'll understand what I mean. But it's the same thing with RWBY. It's like, I can guarantee you there are, and mind you, there are multiple fan comics and everything that show what RWBY could be like. For example, Dishwasher, the artist, Dishwasher, his RWBY 3.0 series is fucking amazing. Like, if RWBY was more like that, everybody would be all over it. But it's not. You know what I mean? Monty had passion and heart, just like the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender. We, the audience, can tell. Yeah, we can. Because he had passion about each and every single character that he was animating, and you could see it with each and every fight scene that he did. There was passion and a point to every single movement that he added to every single scene, and it was art. You know what I mean? But it was art that you could watch, and it was art that you could get hyped about. You know what I mean? And that's very rare to do in today's day and age. You know what I mean? And it's like, RWBY has kind of lost some of that. No, Dishwasher's not a YouTuber. He is a fan artist. Go on Google and type in RWBY Dishwasher and just look at the fan art that he's drawn. Dishwasher RWBY 3.0. That's what you go look up. And I guarantee you'll be like, why has this guy not been hired to like write RWBY? Because it's like, when you look at the art that he's drawn, like I'm gonna pull up one of the pictures as an example. But when you see the art that he's drawn, it's like, yeah, I could totally see this being what RWBY could be like if it was more mature and was allowed to like be more than what it was and had more complex storytelling, you know, if it was written by other people. But, you know, it's not going to be like this because they're following what I assume is Monty's original vision, because that's what they have said that they've got. They said that they were originally going off of Monty's old notes and scripts and everything. So I assume that Monty finished the story, had the story finished. He just broke it up into pieces. Mind you, I write my own anime and manga and stories and whatnot, so I get that. I understand that. If you have everything written out from beginning to end, you just chop it up. But if you're gonna go in and change shit right in the middle of it, then what was the point? Let's see. So he's got a ton of pictures. It looks like one of them is with RWBY versus this really giant Grim, where she gets like her legs chopped off and she has to get cybernetic legs. Nora looks infinitely more badass. Sun and Ilya look really cool. Blake looks like a fucking assassin. She looks like a character out of a Metal Gear game. He has grimified versions of different characters. Like, this looks incredibly good and is something that I would love to see in RWBY, but it's just like they don't take this route with it, and I don't understand why. You know what I mean? And I get it. That's not the story that they're trying to tell, but it's like when a fan artist can make more hype imagery than you can with actual animation, that's a problem. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like, I genuinely don't know what I could possibly say or do to try and just get through to people just how badly they screwed up this plot line between the White Fang and the SDC and Bonus in general, because it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. None of it adds up. And there's just so many ways this could have just gone different. You know what I mean? Like, and it's hard, and it's always been hard for me to really just get out my thoughts in words. That's why I usually kind of like stick to posting things on Facebook and stuff like that, because you know, I when I start talking, I ramble a lot, and you know, I can't really like process what I'm thinking into words, so it's a little harder sometimes. But I think you guys get the gist of what I'm talking about. Yeah, it does look really cool, doesn't it? Looks like a way better alternate version of what RWBY could be like if they actually had better storytelling. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what else I can really say at this point. Like, if you guys have anything else that you want to add or just say, I guess we can keep the stream going, but otherwise I'm probably going to end it because I got really nothing else to add. You know what I mean? It's not that many people here. I really do want more people to join these, though, because, you know, I really do want to open up conversation and just have a talk about things. I don't want an echo chamber just to talk to myself and just have people agree with me. It's like, if people want to disagree, I'm open for you to disagree. Yeah, I do still have hopes for the show. It's not like I've lost all hope for the show. It's not like I don't see any potential at all. It's like, you know, for example, the end of Volume 7, the most hyped thing for me was Oscar unlocking more of Ozpin's memories and powers, Salem showing up, and Penny getting the Winter Maiden powers. Those were the three most hyped things that I felt like, because next volume is one thing I can definitely say and definitely feel confident in because so far my predictions for RWBY have been like on point, solid as fuck. Like, my predictions have been for the most part right. Like, I was semi wrong about the Winter Maiden thing, But I still have a feeling that the Winter Maiden is going to be Weiss, but that means that Penny's going to die again. But so many people are bitching about her being alive anyway, but that's besides the point. Like, I do have hope for the show. I do have, like, expectations, but, you know, I'm just keeping them either very low or hopefully cautious and optimistic. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping for at least good animated fights and moments that I can remember. As long as the moments are memorable and don't piss me off, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out to hate the show. I'm not out to overly criticize or overthink everything. I just want a good show, and I want, you know, engaging conversation. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not in this. I didn't get into this fandom to constantly have to block people out or to constantly have to argue with people. I joined this fandom because I was into the fantasy and the world that Monty created, and unfortunately had to leave behind. You know, it's like, if I didn't care about this show or didn't have any hopes for this show, you know, I wouldn't write fan fiction about it. I wouldn't be a part of groups. I wouldn't have my own group that I lead on Facebook for the show. Like, if I didn't give a fuck, I would just drop it. But I still love this show. You know what I mean? Even though Adam is dead, he's still one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character, next to RWBY. You know, even though RWBY has really shit character development, I still love her character. You know, Crow, I relate to Crow the most out of any character in the show. So it's like, you know, it's like, I still really like this show. I just wish that the writers were better, they weren't so petty, and that they weren't so, I'm not going to say simple-minded, I'm going to say short-sighted. That's the best way that I can describe the writers of this show. Incredibly short-sighted and narrow-minded. 420 plays it. But yeah. Even with the songs, really, even with the songs, for the most part, my expectations are next to the floor, because it's like, Volume 7 didn't really give me any songs that I liked. Not gonna lie, didn't like the opening. The opening kind of sucked. The opening song kind of sucked for me. So there's that. Ironwood's theme song, it was alright. The Aesop's didn't really, I mean, their theme song was kind of generic, so whatever. So, you know, I don't know. It's like, for me, like, the most hyped songs in anime for me are, like, let's say, moments that really exacerbate hype in a moment or feeling. So it's like in My Hero Academia, Hero 2, when Eri learns to smile for the first time. That song literally makes me tear up every single time I watch that scene. In terms of hype, Clear Mind from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, when you say someone's Shooting Star Dragon for the first time, literally one of the most hyped songs I have ever heard. Dragon Ball Super, when Goku goes Ultra Instinct and fights in Ultra Instinct, when Ultimate Battle plays, that song is hype as fuck. So it's like, there have been hype songs in RWBY, don't get me wrong. It's just been a while since it's like, you know, it's been a while since we've heard, let's say, for example, Red Like Roses. We haven't heard RWBY's theme song in forever. You know what I mean? Last volume, the only song that I really liked was Rising. Like I said, Adam's song was a massive disappointment to me, and honestly, most of the songs that are really like slow and feelsy aren't really my thing. So I get why people like those, but they just don't appeal to me. So that's just me. In terms of fights and everything, I am looking forward to Salem coming in and bodying the shit out of everybody, because that's definitely gonna happen. Like, and I've said this time and time again, and I will say it right here, and this is, you can all quote me here. Salem is going to show up, and she is not gonna just waste her magic on the riffraff. She is going to probably show up and start bodying the shit out of people with her bare hands. or using some kind of grim-esque weaponry that like she created herself. Like she's not just gonna just be blasting fire and lightning everywhere like a witch. You know what I mean? She's obviously going to do that when shit gets serious. But in terms of just like dealing with the riffraff, like I'm expecting her to pull some Madara versus the Ninja Alliance type shit. You know, she's just gonna come in and be like, "Oh, all of you lowly piss ants want to fight me, huh? All right, let's see where this goes." And she just jumps off of that whale and just beats the shit out of everybody in a dress. You're lying to me if you say you don't want to see her do that, because I guarantee you do. And then another fight I really want to see is Weiss versus Winter, because that's absolutely going to happen. No one has all the relics at this point. Well, yeah, of course, no one has all the relics at this point, but I mean, Salem is about to get one of them. Nah, I'm pretty sure she's not just there for shock value, dude, because bro, like she literally showed up with an entire army. It's like, yeah, the ships in Atlas are going to be able to take care of some of the smaller Grim and everything, the ones that aren't the giant fucking whale. But apart from that, it's like Salem literally, like Hazel said it best himself. It's like, you know, when you want something done right, do it yourself. So it's like the moment that Cinder comes to Salem with the lamp, it's like Salem is probably either gonna do one of two things. She's probably either gonna scold Cinder for going against orders, because she probably knows everything that Cinder's been up to, thanks to the arm grafted onto her body. And then she's probably also going to try to locate Penny, because, you know, without Penny she can't get the staff. So that's gonna be a thing. And if Salem fights Penny, that's gonna be some crazy shit. That was just my PlayStation going off. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. It really is. So, do you guys have any more questions? What the hell is this? Yeah, all right, whatever. Sorry about that, you guys. Just had to answer a small note that just got slipped under my door. But yeah, no, I really don't think that she was just there for shock value, because if it's just shock value, then it's like, because it's like literally she is literally the most powerful person there right now. Like, honestly, if she really just ends up being there just for shock value, I'm legitimately going to be pissed off. Like, I'm legitimately going to be mad as hell. Yeah, but I just want to be optimistic anyway, because that's just the kind of person I am. Like I said, I'm just going to remain hopefully optimistic. If she's going to be there for shock value, I'm just going to be pissed about it. If she's not, then I'll just feel happy that I was right. Because it's like sometimes they surprise me with good stuff, sometimes they surprise me with bad stuff. Example of a good surprise, Salem showing up at the end of the volume. Example of a bad surprise, them killing Adam right after they revealed his brand. I'm also curious if Salem forcefully brought Mercury and Emerald with her, as well as Hazel. She either forcefully brought them with her, or she sent them to Vacuo to prepare. Because I could absolutely see that. And then while they're in Vacuo, Mercury and Emerald, or just Emerald, tries to get away. Because, Vacuo is basically, thieves' country. So if she was going to ever try to find a way to get away and hide, it was going to be there. And another thing, of course, that I'm looking forward to is Raven coming back, which I absolutely believe is going to happen. Because if you take a look at my profile thumbnail and the picture that I use for my profile picture on YouTube, you'll see that all 4 of the main girls for RWBY are the 4 maidens, which I absolutely 110% believe is going to happen by the end of the series, and there is nothing anybody can tell me to change my mind. That is absolutely going to be something that happens. If she showed up with Hazel, I would be surprised, because then it's like, okay, she might send him after Ozpin, and Ozpin might try to, and Oscar might try to appeal to Hazel again, but I doubt that Hazel's gonna listen. I just really want to see Yang fight Mercury again. But more than anything, I also want to see Raven come back and fight, because Raven is one of my favorite female characters in the show. One of those reasons being because she reminds me of the great late Itachi Uchiha. May you rest in peace, big bro. Also, I am really waiting for the moment for Raven to come back, and see that Ozpin is in the body of a child, even though she kind of already knows that. But I also really can't wait for the moment for everybody to come back and meet up with Oscar, and for them to find out that Ozpin is back, and for them to all collectively apologize to him. RWBY especially. I cannot wait for that shit. That's going to be fucking great. Because really, at this point now, it's the pot calling the kettle black, because they can no longer be mad at him for lying at all. Nobody, not a single person on Team RWBY can be mad at Ozpin for lying or keeping secrets, or telling half-truths, or giving select information to people. Both Blake and Yang did it. RWBY did it. Weiss did it. So, yeah. Really waiting for that Ozpin apology. Because it's like, there are people in the fandom who really be giving Ozpin shit. And I'm not going to name names, but, well, you be trying to come crazy at Ozpin, even though you'll sit up there and completely justify everything else everybody else do. And my thing is, like, when you really look at the way that this show was written, and how, like, the situation that Ozpin himself was put in, if you put himself in his shoes, what else different would you have done? They haven't apologized. Yeah, they haven't apologized for anything, but I'm just saying, it's going to be really hypocritical if they expect Ozpin to apologize to them, which he has, but they don't apologize to him at all. Like, that's going to be really fucked up. Because really, in my opinion, Osmond didn't do shit wrong. He did what he had to do, given the circumstances that he was in. Now, to be fair and to play devil's advocate, though, he did screw up during his marriage trying to just immediately take the kids. I think he probably should have tried harder to convince Salem, listen, absolute conquering everything, that's not really going to do anybody any good. So, maybe we could try something else. Kind of seems like he kind of just like was like, all right, this bitch crazy, I'ma leave. And he didn't kind of take into account that, oh wait, this bitch crazy and she's strong, so I can't just leave. You know, so he probably could have thought that out better, but that's just my opinion there. I'm still honestly wondering how Ironwood about to die, though, because I really do firmly believe whether or not like he has like a change of heart again by the end of Volume 8. I really still do think he's going to die. And if he does die, I'm wondering who's going to be the one to kill him, unless he heroically sacrifices himself. But I do want to see him have a fight with Crow, like, because I honestly feel like they've set that up. And I really want to see that happen. Like the Scarecrow versus the Tin Man. That would be cool. Honestly, I think Crow would absolutely fucking murder fucking Ironwood. Man, I'll stop it with the puns. Not really, though. I mean, I really don't see any reason for him not to die. Like, honestly, everything in the show so far points to the fact that, yeah, this guy gonna die. I mean, yeah, he did do that, but it's like he still fucked up. That and he shot my son, so you gotta die. Like, bro, when I saw Ironwood shoot Oscar, the first thing that came to my mind was this clip. And as soon as the clip starts, you're gonna know exactly what it's from. But it's like this was the first thing that I thought of. When Ironwood shot him, this was the clip that I thought about. Hang on, let me. Where you are. We're gonna get you a senzu bean, and he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Been there too, I guess. Though honestly, the afterlife part isn't too bad. The whole dying part of it is. This is exactly how I felt when he shot him. That was my face. That was literally my face. And that. And that was RT telling me to go fuck myself. But yeah, that was quite literally my reaction, basically, when Ironwood shot my boy. Like, bitch, how dare you? Hold on. Gotta readjust my shit. But yeah, how dare you shoot my son? Like, I was like, wait, what? He is my son, and he will be, and I protect him at all costs. So you can imagine my happiness when he managed to sucker punch Neo right in the face. Full disclosure, I really don't like Neo as a character. Yeah. I know. Anybody else in the chat? Everybody in the chat of all like one or two of you wants to pick up pitchforks and torches. Pick them up if you want. I don't give a fuck. Never liked Roman either. Speaking of Roman, and also back to, circling around back to Adam also, let me ask y'all something. How and why in the hell did Adam let his men work directly under Roman, who was I think if I'm recalling correctly, widely known to be like an asshole to faunists? I don't see what didn't make sense. I just don't like Neo or Roman as characters. Like, honestly, Roman felt like he was supposed to be like a lot more of a more interesting villain, and the same for Neo, but it's just like Neo, for the most part, to me, is just fan service. Oh, yeah, the act of him being able to punch Neo made absolutely no fucking sense. I don't care, though. Fuck that bitch. Like, the entire time I was watching that scene, I was like, wait a minute, why isn't she dodging? I was literally like, Piccolo, dodge! But then I was like, all right, you know what? Never mind. Don't dodge. Just let him punch you in the face, you stupid bitch. Like I can literally there was a meme I think I saw when right after that volume right after the volume and that episode came out and somebody had posted a picture of Oscar running up on Nia to punch her or whatever, and like Roman from the afterlife was screaming dodge and Neo was just standing there, and then she gets punched by Oscar, and then Ghost Roman is like, why didn't you dodge? I've just never liked Neo as a character. I mean, it's good that you can like the character because you can relate to the disability thing. For Crow, I like Crow the most because I relate to him because of his bad luck. My luck is fucking terrible. And he's a loner. I'm also a loner for the most part. I don't have a lot of friends. So yeah. The only difference between me and Crow is that I'm not an alcoholic. But I can absolutely relate to Crow in the sense of being depressed about being lonely all the time and having really shit luck. I absolutely relate to him in that regard. Which is one of the reasons why I just want to see Crow happy, and which is why it was so goddamn annoying when people started shipping him with Clover, just because Clover winked at him once and because he was the good luck to his bad luck. It's like, I get it, but why couldn't they just be friends and bros? Crow needs more friends and actual support system in his life, and he's clearly a ladies' man. Like, if there was anyone you're gonna ship him with Weiss's mother. At least they both have the alcoholism thing going on there. And at least in the world of Remnant, it was somewhat alluded to that Crow knows her and maybe had a crush on her at some point. At least Crow and Willow makes more sense than Crow and Clover. Shit. Like, that's one of my main things with shipping. If you're gonna ship something, just like ship some shit that makes some sense. Don't ship shit just to ship shit. Because then you got people looking at you weird. Oh yeah, because the wink being added unintentionally totally makes it okay. Then shit, that's a fault on the animators. The fucking LGBT crowd that got pissed about queer baiting should get pissed at the animators then, not the writers. One thing that I think that probably would have benefited Clover's character, now that I'm thinking about it honestly, if he would have been more like Captain America. Willing to follow orders, but willing to break them when the situation absolutely calls for it. That probably would have saved his life too. Heyo! Yeah, I'm never gonna stop making fun of the fact that he got speared from the back, ever. I'm always going to make fun of that shit. Always. People always make fun of Adam getting double penetrated. I have just as much right to make fun of Clover getting it from the back, longsword style, quite literally. Just not from the person that he wanted it from. Heyo! Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The writers and the animators seem to be very not on the same page, which is unfortunate. And this is one of the reasons why why other shonen anime and manga do better than RWBY does, because it's like with like example for like with One Piece, like they don't do shit without Oda's approval. Like they don't do any goddamn thing without Oda's approval, because the word of Oda is the word of God. So if Oda says no, don't do this, then they won't do it. You know, if Oda says, "Oh yeah, you can do this because I'm going to be doing some of this stuff like that in the manga later anyway, I don't care," then they'll do it. But it's like, and shit, it's like the same thing with Naruto. Anything involving Boruto or Naruto right now, they consult Kishimoto because they know that Kishimoto knows best. The problem is with RWBY, they can't consult Monty because Monty is dead. So they can't go to the expert on things and get his expert opinion, because the expert is no longer with us, unfortunately. Because I guarantee you, like for example, in volume 6 with Adam's fight, I guarantee you if they would have went to Monty and been like, "Hey, is this a good way to do this?" Monty probably would have said, "Hell no!" Like this is animation that we scrapped from a few years ago. What are you guys doing? Like we need to make an entire fight. We need to craft an entire fight scene from beginning, middle to end here. Like no, we're not about to just piece together a fight scene really quick just because you guys want to breeze through this story real quick. No, if you don't want to like save Adam for later, then if that's the case, or just have this fight be, you know, have him lose this fight and then save him for bigger things in the next volume or something like that. But like, I don't know. I really don't know what their thought process is on this kind of stuff. Yeah, and that is probably their biggest problem. They're too friendly with each other, and that's unfortunate to say, because you shouldn't have to feel that way in the line of work. In your line of work, you want to be able to get along with people and be friends with the people you work with, but they let personal bias and personal friendships and personal politics and agenda get in the way of telling a good story and running a business. And that's just not the way to go about this, because it has clearly hurt their show and hurt their production and has turned a lot of people off. If they cared about Monty's vision, they wouldn't have fired Shane and Sheena. They were the only ones who knew what Monty wanted. I never really got the full context behind what happened with that. Can you kind of explain that to me so I can get a full grasp of what the fuck happened there? Because some people say that they fired them for good reasons. Some people say that Shane and Sheena quit for other reasons, and that they were just disgruntled employees. But I never bought into that bullshit, because you know that just didn't sound genuine to me. I heard they were fired right after Monty died. No warning. Huh. No reasons were given. No reasons were given because I know Shane had written a letter because I remember watching Eruption Fang's video on Adam and the reason and his reasons behind leaving. So I had assumed that Shane had decided to leave on his own, not that he was fired. So that's news to me. If anything, I'll just look it up and see if I can find the details if I really want to find out. But honestly, I really have no reason to disbelieve that because it's like with all the drama and bullshit that's been going on with Rooster Teeth, it's like I can honestly see that being the case. Because really, RWBY as a whole took a dramatic shift in tone after Volume 3. Well, no, in like during Volume 3 is when the dramatic shift in tone started, and it started off all right, and it started off good. But then in Volume 4, yeah, the graphics were better, but the storytelling started to take a considerate dip because there were things that were just not adding up. Ex-employee said that RT was very cliquey. I can believe that too. They seem like the type that are very if you're not a part if you're not in agreement with us, then you're not a part of the club type people. So I can see that being a thing. Mind you, I don't like to be judgmental of people like that. I really don't because I don't know Miles and Carrie and all of them personally. I've never met them before, so it's like I can't rightly judge them based on that. But it's like I have no reason to not believe that because that's just how some people are, So oh boy. Apparently, Monty had to fight for every idea he had. He snuck in that scene where Yang and Raven because he wants more development, but was forced to say it was just a dream. The fuck? Why would that have to be the case? Why would he have to fight for everything that he wanted to do when he was literally the creator? Like that's fucking dumb. I'm not saying that I don't believe you. I'm just saying that that's fucking stupid. Like why would you guys try to purposely try to impede the creator like that? That makes no damn sense. Wow, man, that really must have sucked then. Because I remember that scene. I remember wanting there to be a follow up for that. I was like, huh? Wait a minute, we're not gonna get a follow up scene with that. Never got any follow up, and yeah, I remember he was forced to say that it was a dream, and I'm like, well, I didn't know he was forced to say that. I thought it was just that's just what it was. Apparently, the relics were Miles' idea, but Monty wanted maidens. Honestly, I'm okay with both ideas. They both work. It's just that the way that they're connected is just weird. Honestly, things in this show that really do need better expansion are Silver Eyes, Aura, Dust, and the Maidens and the Relics. All of those things need more expansion and need more um, building on. I felt like the Maidens took a back seat to the Relics in past volumes. Yeah, you're right. They have. But I feel like next volume that the Maidens should play more of a central role, considering that now there's two of them active again. Because before, the Winter Maiden was just a doddering dementia-ridden old lady, and Raven is with Ty. So you're right. They do need to have a drawback. A couple of things that I thought about with that is that they like let me see, what was the thing that I initially thought about, like when a silver-eyed warrior uses them, if they use them too much, I'm not going to go with the copy thing of the Sharingan. If you use it too much you go blind, because that's literally just copying the Mangekyo Sharingan. So what I was going to say is that the more a silver-eyed warrior uses their silver eyes, it darkens their soul, and eventually if they overuse it, the light in their soul will go out and they'll die. So they have to make sure to use it They have to make sure to use it in bursts, and if they do use it in large blasts, they need to make sure that they don't do too many large blasts in rapid succession, because it will kill them. That's something that I thought of, and I thought that's maybe how Summer Rose ended up dying, and that's why we don't see a body, because she, like the Grimm, she sat up there and went to go fight Salem, like had her silver eyes blasting the entire time, but Salem was too strong. And then, Summer Rose basically did to herself what ends up happening to the Grimm when you use your silver eyes on them at full blast, and she scattered into ash. And that's what happened to her, and that's why we don't have a body. At least that's my opinion on it anyway. Because I absolutely could be totally wrong there. But that would be a good drawback, no? That would also be a good drawback, but they would have to tie in like grimification being like like if they tied in like if they did a thing where like the god of light and the god of darkness like both had a hand in creating the silver eyes, and then like one part of the silver eyes was the ability to destroy the Grimm, but then another part was the corrupted version. Like if they had a corrupted version of the silver eyes, then that would have been cool. Like let's say for example, Because I always said that Adam should have had silver eyes, and that would have been one of the reasons why Salem was so interested in him. Because, you know, even though one of his eyes, this one, was fucked up, he still had one, and that still might have given her a chance to find a way to corrupt it and turn it to her advantage or something like that. But they never did that either. But yeah, I really think that would have been a really cool drawback for the eyes to have. I also really think that the maiden's powers, like each of their magic powers, should have been just one of the elements, not all of them, because each and every one of them having access to all of the elements kind of takes away from each of them being, you know, different. You know what I mean? It's like if the Winter Maiden could only use but had the most powerful wind and ice magic, then, you know, that would make sense. But, you know, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. If the Fall Maiden had the most powerful fire magic and let's say, yeah, the most powerful fire magic, but was also good at wind magic, but was weak to ice magic or something, that would be something. And then if the Spring Maiden had the most power, actually no, Fall wouldn't have the most powerful fire magic. Summer would have the most powerful fire magic. Fall would have the most powerful wind magic, and then Spring would have the most powerful lightning magic. You know what I mean? But they basically give all of the maidens all of the ability to basically be the Avatar. So it's like, all right, what's the difference between them? Just skill level. You know what I mean? Maybe Faunus can't have silver eyes. It could be a reason why they're looked down on. Nah, I doubt that, because that just doesn't seem like it would be a thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like silver eyes are, like, in real life, a really incredibly rare hereditary recessive trait in humans. So it's like because it could have been like, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it would make much sense unless they explained that, like, silver eyes are specifically a thing that only humans can have or were recorded to have. But then if it were like, if Adam had silver eyes, or let's say for example, he stole them, he found a silver-eyed warrior, killed him, and then took one of his eyes to replace one of his eyes that may have gotten fucked up or something. We don't know. This literally could have been something like with the Sharingan, where it's like, oh yeah, this dude who has the ability to kill the Grimm by staring at him, those could be useful. I'm gonna take them for myself. Like, we don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, if Adam would have had silver eyes, I would have bought it, because it's like, okay, yeah, he's hiding it. He's hiding his face for some reason. We've never really seen him interact with the Grimm. He's exceptionally skilled beyond any other huntsman in training, and even, like, sometimes professional huntsmen we have seen in the series besides Crow and Winter. You know what I mean? Because it's like, really, when you think about it, Adam was the most powerful Faunus we have ever seen, bar none. The only one who comes close is Tyrion. Fact. Literally, you cannot name another Faunus more powerful than Adam, except for Tyrion. He's the only one. And even when it comes to Tyrion, Tyrion is more skilled than Adam. He's not more powerful. Let's get that out of the way right now. Adam had more destructive power in his arsenal than Tyrion has. That's just a fact. Because go back to the Black trailer. Remember what he did? Tyrion has never been shown to do anything remotely close to that. So Let me see what else. Any other things that you guys wanted to talk about, or theories that you had? Because I'm trying to think about things I want to make theory videos about. Because I'm trying to think of things to do for the off season for the summer. Because with quarantine and everything still going on, I've been trying to put out more videos and stuff, and I've been trying to tinker around with my editing software and OBS and stuff like that, so I can try to get out better quality videos to you guys. And you guys let me know what kind of videos you want to see from me, because it's like feedback from you guys is really important. It really is. Like, I cannot stress this enough. I really, really, really need the feedback and the interaction, because without it, like, I really have no motive to do anything. I'm not even gonna hold you. Any thoughts on the place Sun lives? That he was from Vacuo, yes? He was either from Vacuo or Mistral. I'm pretty sure he was stated to be from one of those places. Honestly, Sun is another disappointment character for me, because am I the only one who really, really, really wanted him and Adam to have like a really dragged down, like bloody, like really like intense ass fight? Because I did. I really genuinely wanted them to fight so goddamn bad. And the fact that they just had like a 2-second skirmish in Volume 5 was fucking insulting. Because Sun has literally like probably like my third or fourth favorite weapon in the entire show. Yeah, Vacuo. The Vacuo was spelled. Because I'm also pretty sure that's low. Like, I think that's low key also where Emerald is from, because Emerald is based off of Aladdin. And if you think about all the places we've gone to in Remnant so far, we've been. He was the first one to land a hit on Adam. Was he? Was he? Huh. Wait a minute. No, he wasn't. Blake was. Remember? That stupid ass double axe handle dumb shit she did to him when he charged in like that. Matter of fact, that's actually going to be a video series that I make, now that I'm thinking about it, and I actually know what I'm going to title it too. I know exactly what I'm going to title that series too, and I know exactly which fight scenario I'm going to do first. It's going to be called RWBY Rumbles, and the first fight scenario that I'm going to do is Adam versus Sun. No, it wasn't after. It was before. Because I remember they had surrounded Adam, and he charged. He was like, "How did you do this?" Blake jumped down from the tower and was like, "Adam, it's over." And then he charged in. Blake sidestepped, axe handled him. He was on the ground, and then Adam was like, "Oh my god, kill them!" And then and then him and Blake square off. They have some words, and then Adam is like, "Oh no, Sun," and then Sun is like, "That's funny because there doesn't seem to be that many people here willing to fight for you." And then then they have the little scuffle, and then Adam runs away like a bitch. Some leader of the White Fang, right? Yeah, no, I really like Sun too. No, yeah, that's fine. Some people tend to forget because that axe handle moment was just so goddamn fucking stupid. What other fight matchups would you guys want to see? Canon or not? It could be anything. Good matchup. But just make it a good matchup. Oh shit. Volume 5 is just a dark hole. Yeah, you're right, because nothing escapes it. Not even light. But yeah, let me know what fights you guys would want to see. I'm just stretching right now because ow, fuck. Ugh. Oscar versus Neo, yeah, that would be fun, especially if Oscar has like more of Ozpin's memories and prowess in him, because then that would like literally put him on level with Neo because remember, the dude was able to go toe to toe with Hazel in Volume 5 when Ozpin took over. So it's like if Oscar can access more of that and he goes up against Neo. Like I said, one fight that I really want to see is Winter versus Weiss, because we haven't really gotten to see like a legitimate like sibling versus sibling fight in this show yet. So that's something I really want to see. RWBY v Yang would be really interesting. Yang would probably win only for the simple fact that her semblance is fucking broken and that she's a tank. Then again, if RWBY can outspeed Yang and make her miss her power shot with her semblance, then RWBY would probably win. Pyrrha versus Ren. Now that's an interesting one. Because see, the thing with Pyrrha is that she's fucking broken for the simple fact that her power is magnetism, and she can basically just like say "bitch please" to pretty much anything in the world of Remnant that has any form of metal in it. So now, what would have been interesting is that they would have explained her powers, like, okay, she can only repel, she can magnetically repel things with this hand, and she can magnetically attract things with this hand. and then it would have to. She has to balance them out, and she can't like bring her hands together to do crazy magnetic shit and stuff like that. But they don't really go into it like that with her. They just have her baseline power be magnetism, and they don't expand on it anywhere past that, which is really unfortunate. Also, if anybody is interested, I do have, of course, PlayStation. I have a PlayStation and PSN, and I do play online on Uncharted. If you have Uncharted 4, so yeah, Emerald v Neo, Battle of the Illusionists. I would say Neo wins simply for the fact that she is more agile and faster than. Did I just say Emerald? I meant Neo. Yeah. Sorry. Neo would win because she's faster and more agile. On top of that, her illusions can move while she creates her illusions. Emerald cannot. So that would be a massive hindrance for her there. Let me see. What other fights do I want to see? I want to see Raven and Crow fight together as brother and sister. I want to see them fight someone, because we haven't seen two siblings team up in a fight in a long time. If at all, either. I'd also like to see Raven and Yang team up to fight someone. Weiss versus Blake. Initially there was setup for that. Never went anywhere. In a 1-to-1 fight, though, pre-volume 5. I would say that's a tough one. That's a tough one because Weiss has her like if they were to fight like right now, if it was Blake versus Weiss, I would say Weiss. One thing I do really want to see Weiss do, which I'm pretty sure she can do, because there's no reason why she can't do this, is add dust to one of her summonings. So I want her to, like, say for example, when she summons the knight, right? I want her to add lightning dust to it and use time dilation on it so it can move faster. Or for example, add fire dust to it, so whenever it swings its sword, it has a fire slash. Or add ice dust to it to give the knight extra armor. Because there's literally no logical reason why she can't do that. She can literally add dust to every other glyph she has. There's no reason why she can't add it to the summoning glyph too. Kind of like Chidori. I guess. Kind of like Chidori. I guess. Maybe. RWBY v Blake. That would mostly be a speed fight. That's a tough one, but I'm gonna go and say RWBY on that one. Blake v Nora? Hmm. That one's tough. Nora would have a little bit of a hard time hitting Blake, but Nora's a tank. So Blake would need to up her power with dust, and Nora would need to up her speed by cranking up her voltage. So I guess it just matters more who gets the power shot first. I'd say Blake is naturally faster than Nora, and I would also maybe say stronger. No, not stronger, because Nora is like physically strong as fuck. So, I'm gonna go ahead and say Nora, only because she has more power on her side. That if she hits Blake like hard enough, Blake's going down. Sorry about that. Shitty building. Possible mice in their fucking radiator. I really need to get a new place. Blake versus Ren. Blake. Honestly speaking, to me, Ren is like the second weakest character in the entire main cast. If I'm being straight up, John obviously is the number one weakest boy. Man, I really wish more people would come through the phone. Like, I'm getting some good questions, but I want some more people. Damn. Word, I'm gonna keep that in mind. They also hate peppermint. I just got to get some more peppermint packets from the store. I just don't feel like going out because, you know, not trying to catch Rona. Yeah, we're not allowed to have cats here. And cats don't really like me all that much. I'm more of a dog person, to be honest. It's weird then for me to also then admit, like, you know, I'm also like a really big fan of like lions and really big cats. So yeah. Because my sister has a dog, my dad has a dog. So, you know, having a doggo would be nice. At least I'd have a friend then. I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, I could call him Zwei, but it would only feel right if I got a corgi. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of dog I would want. I really want a beagle, to be honest. Beagles are fucking awesome. Or a husky. Huskies are cool. I couldn't handle having a big doggo though. I'd have to have a small dog. Because my dumbass would try to sit up there and try to ride on a big dog, and that's just not okay. So yeah, me having a small dog is a good idea. Because big dogs dead ass be always trying to jump on my ass, and I'm fucking small. Sun versus Weiss. Weiss. More arsenal. She's fat. She's faster. Sun versus Yang. Yang would win in the end. It'd be a bit of a long fight if Sun didn't spam his clones, but yeah, Yang would win. That fight would honestly be more fun than intense, but yeah, because both of them would be having a blast with that one. Like I could deadass see both of them just toying with each other the entire time. Neptune v Pyrrha. Pyrrha. Low difficulty. As fuck. Like, Pyrrha would literally mop the floor with him. Know that I do not regret any of these horrible puns that I am making. I regret not a single damn one of them. RWBY. Low difficulty. Because legit, Scarlet hasn't done shit to impress me. So honestly, I give that one to RWBY. Easy. Honestly, Sun's entire team is kind of stupid because it's like he's based off of Sun Wukong, and yet none of his teammates are references to the characters in the story of Sun Wukong. Why? Have we never seen him fight? Yeah, we have, like, once in Volume 3 during the tournament. It was, like, super brief. Like, he barely did shit, and he got taken out, like, really quick. Pyrrha versus Adam. Like I said, her semblance is broken, so she would literally be able to just disarm him easy as shit because his weapons are made out of metal, just like everybody else's. However, if Adam can absorb enough energy, and get in enough clean shots on Pyrrha, maybe it's possible. Because Pyrrha can deflect anything that's made out of metal, but she cannot deflect things like aura slashes or dust bullets. So if Adam purely used long distance attacks with his sword and stuff like that, and just chipped away at Pyrrha's aura while also blocking all of her shots from her gun and everything to build up power, then it's possible Adam could win. But I would say 6 out of 10 times Pyrrha would win. Mind you, I'm a massive Adam stan, but like I said, I know logical power scaling, and so it's like putting Adam's power up against Pyrrha, and But then again, Adam has more experience. Well, yeah. Adam is older. Adam is older than Pyrrha, so he would have more experience than her. However, she was she was often compared to pros. So, and we've seen how strong the pros are. So I don't know. Like I said, the power scaling in this show is super inconsistent. Otherwise, that matchup would be easier to dictate. Pyrrha v Yang. Pyrrha, most def. Because Yang without her gauntlets is probably not as strong. Or as fast. Sun versus Weiss. I think you said that one already. Yeah, you said that one already. Weiss would win. Sun versus Ren. Sun. Velvet v. Pyrrha. Pyrrha. Oh, word! We got another person in the chat. That's what's up. Hey, how's it going? Only like what, 2 hours and 30 minutes in, and now we finally have 3 people in here. Shit. Whatever. Better than nobody. Oh, damn. Never mind. They left. Oh well. Whatever. At least we got 1 like. That's cool. Velvet versus Yang. Ooh, now that would be interesting considering the fact that Velvet would literally be copying Yang. I want to say Yang only because her semblance would play a massive part in all that. So I think that, yeah, in a 1-to-1 fight between Velvet and Yang, Velvet would do well to copy Yang for a little while, but eventually Yang would overpower her. Because that's the thing. Velvet can copy people's fighting styles, but she can't copy their semblances, and she can't copy their level of strength. So that's the main issue there. Yeah, you can copy someone and play copycat all day, but it's like if they're stronger than you, then it doesn't really matter. It's like the thing in Ip Man 3, you know what I mean? There were two, like Ip Man had that one guy who was literally like the only other Wing Chun master in the area, and it's like, yeah, you're a master, but you're not the master. I am. And then Ip Man thoroughly taught him that by the end of the movie. Some of these matchups, yes, I'm going to do in-depth videos on some of these. Pieces of shit. But let's say for example, let me see. Like I said, Atom versus Sun is definitely going to be one. Let me see what else. Weiss versus Winter is definitely going to be one. Pyrrha versus I want to do one with Pyrrha. I just want a really good matchup that's like not going to be easy slam dunk for Pyrrha, but also not like, you know, Pyrrha getting wasted. Let me see. Definitely I want to do Sun versus Yang because that would be fun. Not sure what other ones that I would want to do though. That's weird. Why the hell does it say there's three people in here and there's only the two of us? That's weird. Whatever. Oh, really? She is? I forgot about. Oh yeah, you're right. She is a second-year student. I totally forgot about that. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Although I will argue that Team RWBY have had more in the field experience, so I would say that gives RWBY herself a bit of an edge. But that's just my personal opinion. Well, yeah, obviously, Team RWBY are going to be and should be the most powerful main characters in the show because, duh. Like, it would really suck if they were literally just outclassed by everybody. You know what I mean? It's okay for like the pros and like the older generation to outclass them for a little while, you know, but it's like eventually they gotta, you know, move past them. You know what I mean? Like, it would suck if Deku got one for all from All Might and then he was just as strong as All Might and not stronger. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with Shigaraki. It would suck if Shigaraki ended up getting All for One, which he's totally going to get, but ended up not being as strong as All for One. You know what I mean? What would be the point? Velvet versus Weiss. I would say Weiss only because, like I said, like, it depends. If you're talking about like Volume 7 Weiss, then most definitely Weiss. But if you're talking about like Velvet versus Volume 3 Weiss, then Velvet. Coco versus Nora. That's tough. Honestly, I haven't seen enough of Coco in like close range combat to say whether or not she would beat Nora or not, because Nora is a very close range fighter. So I don't know. That one's tough. I would need time to think about that one. Yeah, true. It's good as a blunt force weapon, but it's like, Nora has a goddamn hammer. So I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I have to see more. I have to see more of Coco in fights to really gauge whether or not she would beat Nora straight up. Cool. Someone else just subscribed, so that's it. So that's a new member of the channel to welcome through. That's what's up. I should be able to get work on at least one new video to upload before the day is over. Something like that. I guess like the next hour or two. No, I've not gotten to read that book, but I have read descriptions of it and watched other people make videos on it. So I know what happens in the book. Maybe hopefully they'll animate it and we'll get to see more of what they can do. So I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, how long has this stream been going on for? Damn, over 2 hours. That's crazy. Shit, honestly, I don't know how Murder of Birds for hours on end without getting bored. Uh, hmm. I'm assuming that's an Avatar: The Last Airbender reference, and if it is, I'm going to say Team Avatar would win. Probably, yeah. Honestly, I ate before I started this, but I didn't really bother to go and get any snacks or like an extra thing to drink. So honestly, I'm kind of just like chilling right now, and there's not that many people in the chat, so it's like I only have one person asking questions, and I thank you greatly for coming and asking questions, coming to talk seriously. One person is better than no people at all, but you know, it's easier with Murder of Birds, I guess, because he also has pictures and memes that he brings up during his shit. So you know, hard for me to keep up with a guy who has a few 100,000 subscribers, and I only have like 100. Most of which who probably don't watch my videos. Now that I'm really thinking about it, seeing as how like most of my videos don't get a whole lot of views or likes or comments, which is really annoying. Mind you, I want to improve. I just don't know how. And doing it by myself, it just makes things even more difficult. I wouldn't say he's blindly optimistic or ignores the flaws. I guess he just doesn't choose to take the flaws as seriously as everybody else because he loves the show so much. Which I can understand. You know, it's like I've felt that way about certain things that I love, like Sly Cooper, for example. You know, for the longest time, I would just defend the game because it was my favorite game, and there were things in the games that I would just defend just because it was my favorite game. You know, but like once I started really like opening my mind up to other arguments and really looking at the game as a whole with nuance, I was like, yeah, a lot of those points that people were bringing up that were wrong with these games is definitely wrong with these games, and I can see where it could use fixing. And it's the same thing with RWBY. You know what I mean? Just because you love something doesn't mean you don't have to recognize that it has flaws. And it's like if he chooses not to take the flaws as seriously as everybody else, all right, that's his business. You know, not everybody takes it as seriously. And that's perfectly okay. You know, me as someone who wants to be a writer, though, to see the writers of this show that is like a really good concept and and for the most part, well-written show to see them making these kinds of writing decisions that just don't make any sense and then just piss so many people off, and then them just not addressing the criticism or only addressing criticism that fits their agenda is really fucking annoying. Like, they'll sit up there and just basically say fuck anyone who criticizes them about anything related to Adam, but the moment that a bunch of LGBT flag wavers come crashing down on you about queer baiting with Clover and Crow, you want to apologize to them and placate them. Like, what the fuck? And that's not me looking down on these people. That's just me calling it like I see it and telling it like it is. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, if you're gay, straight, bi, whatever, I don't fucking care. That's not my business. Don't sit up there and try to inject your politics or project your shit onto the show when it has no merit or when it doesn't matter or if it has no effect on the show. Like, nobody cares. No one gives a fuck. I'm sorry. Like, if you want your representation or whatever, fine. But just like, I don't know. This is why I don't like talking about that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I absolutely agree with that statement. I like, if you truly do love something, you acknowledge that thing has flaws and it's not perfect. Nothing in the world is perfect. Period. You know? It's like, if you fall in love with someone, you love that person in spite of their flaws. You recognize that those flaws are there, but you love them anyway. And you try to work on those flaws and see if you can fix them if they're fixable. With RWBY, they don't really do that necessarily. They just patchwork it and then just hope people don't notice that it's a bad patch job. And then when people point out criticism and point out that they're disappointed with what they've done, you get called a hater. Which is really fucking which is just, I don't want to say insulting because that makes me sound like a little bitch, but it's like, how else am I supposed to take it, you know? I really like the we point out flaws because we know it can do better. Exactly. Because it's like, whenever I do live streams like this or try to do live streams like this, or I make videos like how I do, trying to point out the flaws in the show, it's not to hate on the show. It's just to point out, hey, like, you know, I see something wrong with this. A lot of other people see something wrong with this and we don't feel like we're being heard. So it's like, we just want you to hear us. That's all. I don't think it's wrong to want to be heard and then not given the finger, you know? So, I don't know. That's basically all I've got to add and to say. This stream was long as hell. So honestly, I'm gonna probably just end it off right here in a little bit. Like I said, I really do thank you guys for all of you, for, you know, the ones that did come through. If you just came through to watch real quick and it didn't really interest you, sorry that wasn't as interesting as I could have been. I'll try to do better next time. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how exactly I want to do all this and, you know, what I want to talk about, how I want to talk about it. And, you know, like I said, I just want to build a bigger audience and, you know, engage with people because, you know, without being able to go out and stuff and not having as many friends as I would like to, I just want to be a part of this community and do something and contribute something, you know, because I can't draw, I can't video edit, I can't animate, I can't do any of that stuff. You know, I'm not as charismatic or charming as Dan or
or murder of birds. So it's like I just want to do my best and just try to make my stamp. You know what I mean? So hopefully I was able to add something and entertain somebody somewhere. You know, so that's all I really got to say. You know, I hope you guys were able to have at least some kind of an engaging conversation here and get some thoughts out. Like I said, I'm gonna try by the end of the day to get a video out, detail talking about some of the fights that I had talked about here in detail, and then also a video probably on either Raven or something related to Team Stark or something like that. I'm not entirely sure just yet. Still trying to piece together everything that I want to do. So that's basically it. If you guys had any last questions or anything to say, I guess ask now before I close out. Because right after I close the stream, I'm probably go grab some more food, and then I'm gonna start trying to work on this other video. Well, thanks, and you too. You be safe as well, and have a good rest of your day. So let me find the end stream and wait for that to just hit 3 hours. Boom.